Picture the northernmost edge of Japan. Off the coast of Hokkaido, the water is cold enough to make your breath visible, and strong currents pull through the dark sea, carrying minerals up from the deep. Down below the surface, forests of giant kelp sway in that current, quietly, slowly, doing something extraordinary. They're collecting the flavor of the ocean itself. What most people don't know about kombu is that it isn't prized for how it tastes when you eat it, it's prized for what it gives to water. That's the story today. One strip of dried seaweed and the entire foundation of Japanese cooking. So let's start with the thing itself. Pull a strip of dried kombu out of its wrapping and hold it up to the light. It's almost black, a deep mineral green black, and there's this fine white powder dusting the surface. Now your first instinct might be that it's mold or salt. It's neither. That powder is mannitol, a natural sugar that forms as the kombu dries. And here's the lovely part. It's actually a sign of quality. Good kombu blooms with it. Run a finger along the surface, and it comes away slightly sweet against your skin. Kombu is a kelp, a large brown seaweed from the genus Laminaria, and almost all of Japan's supply comes from a single island, Hokkaido. The reason comes down to the water. The cold, nutrient-rich currents of the Sea of Okhotsk and the Pacific create exactly the conditions kelp loves: low temperatures, strong currents, and an abundance of minerals. But here's what makes this a real story. Hokkaido isn't one coastline, it's many. And each major kombu growing region produces a seaweed so different in flavor and texture that Japanese cooks treat them almost as completely separate ingredients. Same kelp, different sea, and the sea changes everything. So why does the place matter so much? Because the flavor of kombu is, at its heart, the flavor of one thing: glutamic acid. That's the amino acid that carries umami, and kombu holds more free glutamates per gram than almost any natural food on Earth. Drop a piece in water, and those glutamates dissolve out slowly, building that deep, round, savory presence we call dashi. But glutamates are only part of it. Kombu also releases minerals, sugars, and delicate aromatic compounds, and those vary depending on where it grew, how long it aged, and how it was dried. The temperature of the sea, the speed of the current, the depth the kelp grew at, all of it ends up in the strand. To taste kombu from different regions is to taste different expressions of the same ocean. Let me take you to 4 of them. First, Hidaka on the southeastern Pacific coast. This is the everyday kombu, the most productive region in all of Japan. It's thinner and more tender with a mild, clean flavor. It softens quickly, almost silky, which makes it perfect for dishes where you actually eat the kombu, those long-simmered knots in oden, pickles, nimono. It's also the variety you're most likely to find outside Japan. Think of it as the welcoming entry-level expression of what kombu can be. Now travel northeast to the Shiratoko Peninsula, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, remote and wild. This is Raosu, the bold one. Thick, wide, deeply colored, fed by the cold Oyashio current. The dashi it makes is rich, almost amber, with a lingering sweetness. It announces itself. In Kyoto, it's sometimes considered too assertive, but in a Tokyo ramen shop or an izakaya, it's exactly what you want. Then, off the northwestern tip in the Sea of Japan, there's Rishiri Island, a volcanic cone rising straight out of the water. Many Japanese chefs call Rishiri the finest kombu in the world. Its dashi is pale, almost water clear, and extraordinarily clean. Pure umami with nothing that distracts. This is the chef's kombu. Divers gather it by hand in summer, cutting it at the base, spreading it on the rocky shore to dry in the sea wind. And then it's aged, sometimes for a year or more, in cool, dark storage where the flavor deepens and mellows. The process has barely changed in centuries. It's also the most expensive and the hardest to find outside Japan. And one more, just south of Hokkaido proper, along the Oshima Peninsula, makombu. True kombu, wide, thick, pale olive green, with a distinctive sweetness. That last one, makombu, carries a piece of history with it, because it's the kombu of Osaka. Here's the thing, kombu doesn't grow anywhere near Osaka, but from the 17th century onward, it was carried south along the Kombu Road, a maritime trade route connecting Hokkaido to the markets of Osaka, and the Osaka merchants became the ones who aged it, processed it, and distributed it across the whole country. So Osaka became the kombu capital of Japan not by growing it, but by trading it. That commercial geography literally shaped the food culture of Western Japan, distinct from Tokyo and the East. Makombu's sweetness suits the lighter, more delicate dashi of Osaka and Kyoto, and to this day, it's the variety most tied to kaiseki, formal Japanese cuisine. And there's a quiet philosophy in how kombu is used. When you draw dashi, you never squeeze the kombu after removing it. Its job is done, and pressing it would only cloud what you've built. But you don't throw it away either. The spent kombu gets simmered with soy sauce and mirin into tsukudani, chopped into rice, pickled into a condiment. Nothing is wasted. The care of the kitchen extends even to what has already given everything it has. Kombu is traveling now. Hidaka, the tender everyday variety, is showing up in supermarkets and online shops around the world. And honestly, it's a beautiful place to start. But the finest expressions, like rishiri, are still bound to their place. The harvest is limited by the size of the coastline and by hands doing the same slow, careful work they've done for centuries. So as kombu goes global, there's something worth holding on to. The understanding that this isn't just an ingredient. It's a specific sea, a specific season, a specific pair of hands. That's what dissolves quietly into your bowl. We've written about this in much more detail over at Waden. The full history, the producers, and the science behind it. Link in the description. See you next time.